is late autumn in the Russian Far East, a time of change. 1 year has come and gone since the scientists first saw Katya and Larisha in the wild. Larisha is now an adult tigress. She has stayed close to home, taking over part of Katya's territory. Like her mother, Larisha has marked the boundaries of her range. She has even found a mate, a radio-collared tiger named Jenny.
Tigers can live in jungles, tigers can live in swamplands, tigers can live in boreal forests. But what is critical is where those ungulates, where that prey base can live. And so when we ask, how do we save tigers, how do we save tiger habitat, we're really asking, how do we save habitat for the ungulates upon which the tigers survive?
Wild boar make up more than 50% of the tiger's diet. Boar feed on Korean pine nuts, which are abundant in the dense forests of the Sikhote Alim. Korean pine is also a highly valued timber source. Large numbers of these trees have been cut from the taiga, and although now protected, illegal logging of Korean pine continues to this day. Dale and Russian biologist Sasha Mizhlenkov are trying to determine what the tiger's prey needs to survive.
To have a good understanding of tiger ecology, it means understanding the relationship between tigers and the animals that also occur in the forest there. The relationship between deer, elk, wild boar, and bears. Understanding that whole complex is a first step to understanding what tigers need to survive.
Biologists with the Hornacher Wildlife Institute hope to paint a complete picture of tiger ecology. The long-term survival of wild Siberian tigers is dependent on the success of countless plants and animals. Larisha's mate, Jenny, has spent the last 3 days in one area. He moved on early this morning. Linda and Kola are going in to investigate what Jenny left behind.
Wow, Vidish, look at how long this drag is. Tigers usually don't drag their kills this far unless something's disturbed them.
The two researchers expect to find the remains of a tiger's kill. What they discover shocks them both.
Oh, it's a tiger. You sure it's deer? My God, it's a tiger. It's a Jenny.
Это маленький. Дай замер.
When we first walked into that kill site, of course, we were expecting to find an elk or a boar, the usual food item of a tiger. It was pretty shocking when we looked down and saw tiger paws.
8 сантиметров.
8 сантиметров.
Да.
8 centimeters.
Да.
8 centimeters. This is a cub. 7.5 centimeters. It's a young. Это очень молодой.
The researchers must now determine the identity of the tiger and how it died. Linda fears the dead tiger is Larisha.
Oh, there's blood here on her nose. Almost like she had come off a kill. Maybe. Her bone was broken. Her rib was broken.
Не ломай.
It's almost like they were broken off. The claws are dull on the end, almost like they were. She was dragging. Almost shattered on the end, but they're not bleeding. We were looking at her claws because they were black and they were eroded on the end, as if she had been drugged on the asphalt.
Kola and Linda are confused by their findings. Broken bones, ripped flesh, tar in the fur. A tiger did not kill this animal.
Right now I suspect that this was Katya's 20-month-old cub who's been on her own for the last several months, not traveling with Katya, which is a bit confusing right now because we know that they've also spent time together, this cub and Jenny. they've shared kills, and we suspected that they mated. So I'm not sure what's going on, but what we need to do is search this area more, see if we can find a few more bones, see if we can find some more tracks, and try to piece the puzzle together. We work with these animals every day. That's our job, is to track these animals, and they become like part of our family. And we know so much about them, though we rarely see them. And all of our radio-colored tigers are individuals to us. And so when something happens to one of them, it becomes a personal thing, a personal loss.
The dead tiger is Larisha, Katya's only daughter. The young tigress John and Linda knew so well is dead.
We knew exactly when that cub was conceived. We knew exactly when that cub was born. Although we never had a radio collar on the cub, we followed it through the first 2 years of its life when it was still traveling with Katya, and after that kept following it through tracking in the snow. So by losing this cub, we lost a lot of information.
Linda and Kola's investigation leads them to the road.
We determined that the animal was hit by a car. Actually hit by a large truck. The tracks start here. It's like they hit her and they drug her under the back tires all the way to here. That's about, 15 meters. They also think that those people threw her over there.
The driver then picked up Larisha's limp, bloody body, dragged her to the side of the road, and threw her down the gully. Larisha's mate, Jenny, found the young tigress. Tracks show that he carried her more than 200 yards, an incredible distance, to a clearing in the forest. Jenny stayed with Larisha for 3 days before leaving.
The fact that the animal died a senseless death because somebody was driving too fast on a road does make me angry.
This is the only road through the reserve, and it goes right through the middle of one of the most productive tiger home ranges on the reserve. But because of this road, every single tiger that has been born in this area for at least the last 8 years has died as a result of either being hit by cars or from being shot by poachers from the road.
There are times like this when the future of wild Siberian tigers seems lost. Yet in Siberia, it is said, hope is the last to die. Despite all odds, the number of wild Siberian tigers is on the rise, from a low 250 in 1992 to an estimated 350 today.
The tiger, and especially the Siberian tiger, is perhaps the ultimate symbol of wildness, the ultimate symbol of perhaps our link to nature. Everybody is enamored or afraid or in some way has some kind of relationship to a tiger, whether they've seen one in the wild, whether they live where there are tigers or not. Children know about tigers. One of the first animals they learn about. T is for tiger. If we can't save an animal with that strong a cultural symbol, not only for Russia but for the whole world, it comes down to asking the question whether or not we can save ourselves. And so we need to save the tiger as much for its own sake as for our own.
They're beautiful animals. They're a treasure, a jewel on this earth that we should protect. I can't imagine life on this earth without other creatures so exquisite.
It's clear an opportunity exists to save Russia's greatest treasure, not just in myth and legend, but as it has lived for centuries, stalking the snowy peaks and river valleys of the Russian Far East. A place and a people that live in the shadow of the tiger. Korean pine is also a highly valued timber source. Large numbers of these trees have been cut from the taiga, and although now protected, illegal logging of Korean pine continues to this day. Dale, 1 year has come and gone since the scientists first saw Katya and Larisha in the wild. Larisha is now an adult tigress. She has stayed close to home, taking over part of Katya's territory. Like her mother, Larisha has marked the boundaries of her range.
Save tigers, how do we save tiger habitat? We're really asking, how do we save habitat for the ungulates upon which the tigers survive?
Wild boar make up more than 50% of the tiger's diet. Boar feed on Korean pine nuts, which are abundant in the dense forests of the Sikhote Alim. It is late autumn in the Russian Far East, a time of change. She has even found a mate, a radio-collared tiger named Jenny.
Tigers can live in jungles, tigers can live in swamplands, tigers can live in boreal forests. But what is critical is where those ungulates, where that prey base can live. And so when we ask, how do we